All right, so hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to show you this monthly budget template that I made, and honestly, this is probably one of my favorites that I built so far. So basically, what I do is I make budget templates for people because I don't know, some people prefer spreadsheets over apps. Everyone's different. Some people love the budgeting apps that are out there, but other people just want something simple in Google Sheets that they can customize however they want. So I started making these Google Sheets, and yeah, this one's actually pretty clean. I've made like dozens of these things at this point. People really seem to like the setup, so I figured I'd walk you through how it works. Okay, so starting at the top here, first thing you'll notice is this month and year selector. So right now I have it set to August 2025, but you can click on either dropdown and change it to whatever month and year you want. The cool thing is you can change the budget for each month and year and reuse this template every time. Then right here in the income section, you can see it's showing paycheck 1 and 2 because I have it set to bi-weekly in this dropdown. But watch this. If I change this to weekly, it'll automatically show paycheck 1, 2, 3, and 4. If I change it to monthly, it just shows one paycheck. It's completely dynamic, which honestly took me way too long to figure out how to build, but I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. So let me set this back to biweekly and show you how this works. I'm going to put in $1,700 for paycheck 1 and $1,700 for paycheck 2. So now you can see the total income box automatically updated to $3,400. I didn't have to calculate that myself because I'm lazy and Google Sheets can do math better than me anyway. Okay, this is probably my favorite part that I built. You can check out these little checkboxes. When I was designing this, I was like, people need to feel like they're actually accomplishing something when they pay bills. So I added these checkboxes, and honestly, the feedback on this has been pretty good. So for bills, let's enter rent, electric, phone, transportation, internet, subscriptions, gym. I picked these bills because they're the most common ones that people have. Obviously, your bills are going to be different. You can just change the text to whatever you actually pay for. Let me fill in some example amounts here. So rent, I'll put $1,800, electric, $100, phone, $50, transportation, $120, internet, $80, subscriptions, $100, and gym, $50. The subscriptions one, okay, when I was testing this out, I put $100 for subscriptions, and I was like, that seems high. But when I actually added up Netflix, Spotify, Disney Plus, whatever else, and it was actually more than that. So 100 is probably realistic for most people, which is kind of scary when you think about it. Now watch this. When I click these checkboxes, it shows that I've paid the bill. So I'll check off rent, electric, phone, and I'll leave the others unchecked to show that I still need to pay them. And then down here we have savings. Let me add some amounts here for emergency fund. I'll put 200, vacation 200. This was one of those things where I was like, do people actually want this in their budget? But turns out, yeah, they do. Having savings as an actual line item instead of just whatever's left over makes people actually save money. The emergency fund thing, especially, I get messages from people being like, I never had an emergency fund before, but now I do because it's right there in my budget, which is cool. And then over here, we have this daily spending tracker, which this was actually the hardest part to design because I wanted it to be simple, but also useful. So it's just date, description, amount. Let me add a few entries to show you how it works. So August 1st, Starbucks, $10. August 2nd, groceries, 90. August 4th, gas, 50. And then there's space for the rest of the month. When I was building this, I went back and forth on whether to add categories here or just keep it simple. And I decided to keep it simple because when people have to pick a category for every single purchase, they just stop doing it. But this way, you can just write down what you spent and move on. The feedback I get from people using this is that they had no idea how much they were spending on random stuff until they started writing it down. Like that $10 Starbucks every day, that's $300 a month just on coffee. Probably more than some people's electric bill. Now check out this section. So as I've been filling in these numbers, this updates automatically. And honestly, I'm probably more proud of this than I should be. It's just a simple pie chart. But it shows the breakdown. You can see the green for income, blue for expenses, and purple for savings. The percentages update in real time as you change your numbers. The reason I added this is because people are visual. Like you can look at numbers all day, but when you see that blue section getting too big, you're like, oh, okay, I need to cut back somewhere. I probably built like 5 versions of this before I got the colors and percentages right. The first version looked terrible. So as I filled in those numbers, you can see total expenses is now showing $24.50, and then it shows left of budget, which is $5.50. This calculates automatically too. Obviously, if I enter in 100 for dining out, it will go down by 100 to $4.50. When I was designing this, I had people test it out, and they were like, I want to know how much money I have left over without having to do the math. So that's what this does. After all your bills and spending, here's what you have left for savings or whatever you want to spend it on. The $4.50 left over here is actually pretty good. Like when I show people, they're always surprised by how much money they actually have left when they track everything properly. One thing I forgot to mention, these drop downs at the top, you can change the month and year and it'll update the daily spending table so you can start fresh. This was actually a pain to build because I had to figure out how to make it so every day of the month automatically shows up. But I got it working. So you can plan out any month you want. Some months are going to be more expensive than others, obviously. Like December is always brutal because of holidays and stuff. The main thing with budgeting templates is just actually using them. Like I can build the perfect spreadsheet, but if people don't actually update it, it's useless. And I'll be honest, the feedback I get is that some people are really good about updating this every day. And some people forget for like 2 weeks and then have to catch up. That's fine though. Having something is better than having nothing. Whether it's this spreadsheet, a budgeting app, or just writing stuff down on paper. The important thing is finding what works for you. The other thing is everyone's budget is going to be different. Like maybe you don't have a gym membership. Maybe your rent is different. Maybe you spend more on groceries. That's why I made this easy to customize. Just change the numbers to match your actual life. So yeah, that's basically how this template works. It's not complicated, it's not fancy, but it does what people need it to do. You can see where your money comes from, where it goes, and how much you have left to spend every month. If you want to try this template, I'll put a link in the description, or if you want to build your own version, just copy what I have here. The main categories are pretty standard: income, bills, daily spending, savings. Just adjust everything to match your situation. And honestly, even if you hate budgeting, just try tracking your spending for like a week. Don't even worry about limiting yourself. Just write down everything you spend money on. You'll probably be surprised by some of it. I'm always making new templates, so let me know if there's something specific you want to see, like debt payoff trackers, savings challenges, whatever. I'll probably make it. Anyway, that's it. Let me know what you think of this template. All right, see you guys later.